Welcome into a recap edition of the Pick a Side podcast. Week 8 college football, Week 7 NFL. Shea, Norling, Tyler Rocky with you as always, wherever you get your podcasts, and also available on YouTube, youtube.com/@PickASideESPN. Please click the subscribe button, like a video, like all the videos, leave some comments. It does help us out, and we appreciate it. But let's get right into the recap stuff because we have a lot to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I will start in college just by saying, for me, forward momentum. That's what I'm at now.
All right, brick by brick.
Listen, I went 6-5 this week. That's not bringing the house down.
I'm going to give you 7-5 because you clipped another name off of your hot seat list.
Goodbye, Billy Napier. More on that shortly. Boy, am I on fire, firing coaches. No, but I've been having a really brutal year in college. I've been honest about that. I have not done well the last 2 weeks. Profit. Last week was better than this past week, but 6-5. I'm not buying my wife a new pair of shoes, but I'm also not losing money. That's very important. NFL, different story. NFL's been great. This week was the first rough one. I'm 3-3 right now. The Lions will decide tonight if it's a winning week or a losing week. That's pretty much it for that. But as far as recap goes in college, the bet I'm most upset about that I lost was Indiana. I'm so fucking angry. I'm not sure I can put it into words. So I'm going to do my best here. I'm up 38-10 with a minute and a half left in the game. The spread is 27.5. I'm covering by a hook. Michigan State's driving down the field, not with Aiden Childs, but with their backup quarterback, Miljovic, whatever the fuck his name is. He's dicing up Indiana's little prevent defense. Sideline is a freebie. They get down into the red zone. Nothing on first down. Nothing on second down. Nothing on third down. Now we're looking at a 4th and 13 from about the 15-yard line in a 28-point game with time expiring. What do you do in that situation as a coach, Tyler? You go for it, right? Always go for it. Go for the touchdown. Not Jonathan Smith. No. In a fucking monsoon, Jonathan Smith's like, let me rock the field goal team out there. You're down 28 points. Why do you put the field goal team on the field?
You know why? We gathered a data point. Number knower. He knew the number. He was getting you inside at 28.
You know what he did? He bet the spread and he bet the over. I would bet my life on it because he knows he's getting fired. His time in East Lansing is coming to an end, and he needs a little nest egg. So he had his own team covering the number, and he went for the spread kill.
You sound like you're about to tweet out a picture of, like, Jay Smith at msu.edu, like, trying to log into FanDuel right here.
Yeah, I will. Dude, I will not donate any money to Michigan State football, and it's not like I have money to donate, so it's not a big deal. But if I could knowingly contribute to this man's unemployment, I would. If they needed my money, if $5 would be the difference, I would give it to them. To get this clown out of here. I hate him. I hate him so much that I have a chance at getting all 10 coaches fired from my preseason list. All 10 of them.
Going to be hilarious when there's one man standing at the end.
If he's fired, I will cancel the firing list because that will be the one that I wanted. If Jonathan Smith gets his job taken from him, the rest of the firing list will no longer exist. I will not worry about hot seats. I will not celebrate coach firings or being right about people who are about to lose their jobs because it is, honestly, as funny as it is that I'm just nailing these, it is also, there's a human side of it where these are grown men who are losing their jobs. They're going to be fine. They're well compensated.
Yeah, it's a little
they get the buyout money.
Getting paid millions of dollars to fuck off.
In the case of Jonathan Smith, I will cease any interest in any other coaches losing their jobs. If he gets fired, I will take every other name off the list. I want this guy gone. I have never rooted for somebody to be unemployed as much as I'm rooting for Jonathan Smith to be unemployed. Ever in my life. Never. There are Congress people who I hate, who I would prefer keep their seats than Jonathan Smith remain the head coach at Michigan State. I hate this guy. You pasty little... I don't want to call him what I want to call him because I don't want to get in trouble.
You get that out of your system? Can we talk about real football that actually took place this weekend?
This is Indiana football.
I mean...
That is real football.
That on a spread that they didn't cover?
I wish Sig had just, like, stomped on Jonathan Smith's throat. I do.
Put up a 50 burger?
I just am so upset. How is he not fired yet? You know what it is? It's like you look at that, Michigan State, and then you look at the Miami Dolphins. They're both going to fire their coach, so just do it. What do we wait? Why is Mike McDaniel still employed this morning? Fire him.
The thing is though, is like, what does it matter if you fire him now versus the end of the season? It really doesn't matter at all. Between now and then, you get to keep a little bit of extra money in your pocket. You're at least paying him to do work.
I have such an absurd bloodlust for this guy. I do. I really do. I need him fired. All right, that's all I'm just going to get angry and say regrettable things, so I'm going to move on.
All right.
The rest of the weekend in college was up and down a little bit. Cal laying 10. UNC damn near won this game.
Yeah, they did.
Cal just fumbled it away at the goal line late. That was the Friday night start. The only play we had on Friday. We both lost on it. Cal was laying 10. It closed like 8. I'm like, oh, boy, we're walking into something here. Then UNC had a chance to win. Gio Lopez threw a pass to a tight end. Tight end running into the end zone, coughs up the football into the end zone. Cal recovers. Game over. Belichick probably also will see his way out of UNC. The firings are... How many FBS jobs are going to be open? 30?
Probably in that maybe not quite 30. What are we already at right now? We're at like probably about 10 open right now.
Well, besides the ones we aren't even thinking about, UAB's open, Penn State's open, and Florida's open. It feels
Colorado State opened up this weekend too.
Jay Norvell. The other Norvell, it sounds like they're committed to Mike Norvell.
I saw there's a statement that we're going to reevaluate everything at the end of the year.
He's going to be fired.
He'll be fired.
So that's going to open. Nebraska might open if Rule takes the Penn State job. That's another one. Brent Key could leave Georgia Tech. That's another one. They're 7-0. Like this, that's another job that could open up. There's so many jobs that are going to open that I don't even. You wonder why all these schools are hat in hand looking for private equity money. It's because there's going to be a combined $500 million in buyout checks being paid this season.
Yeah,
that's why.
Yeah, no, it's going to be the most. We've talked about it a number of times, but it's going to be the most interesting offseason of college football hires. It's with the quality of jobs and the quantity. On top of that, you're going to see a number of very interesting openings.
All right, the rest of the bets, I thought this was a good, like off-field stuff, off-field intrigue. We did a lot of that last week. We'll do a lot of that this offseason and as the season goes on. But on-field, I thought it was a really good week in college. Vandy, with you can call it an upset because they were the lower-seeded team or lower-ranked team, but they were favored. Beat LSU outright, 31-24. Diego Pavia, I mean, my God.
Yeah.
What a player he's turned into.
And just, I mean, it kind of hit everything that we said leading into this game. We both liked Vanderbilt a lot in this game. That number moved a little bit all over the place, but never got north of 3, and it never got outside of Vandy being a favorite in the game. And it was really just Vanderbilt's defense was a little bit better than LSU's.
Yep.
And I thought that ultimately was what won the game for Vandy.
And LSU can't run the football. I mean, it's the same. They'll pop off a long run, but that's it. Like when Durham's getting 7 carries for 59 yards with a long of 51, it tells you all you need to know. They cannot consistently run the football. Yeah, it's just impossible for them.
You take out that, and they were going for a little over 2.5 yards a carry.
Which we really should have seen coming with what they lost. Like, and I think we did, but most people should have seen it coming. What they lost up front, you lose Will Campbell, you lose other parts of this, you lost Mason Taylor. So many keys to their running game gone to the NFL.
Yeah.
It takes time, but I do wonder, like, is this another job that opens up? Could Brian Kelly be in trouble at the end of the season? Baylor TCU over. Took about 6 hours to get to.
But we made it. Yeah, and it was looking dead out of the gate, too. And then we eventually, it looked like one of those games where we were going to need overtime at a certain point if we were going to get over the number. And then just brick by brick, we kind of saw the second quarter was immaculate for that number.
Yeah.
And then we closed it up in the fourth.
Getting to 31 by halftime after a 7-point first quarter was like, okay, we're in business. And then it ended up coming through. The BC cute play, we should have listened to Waddle.
Yeah. Well, in our defense, too, you get 2 starting linemen ruled out on the left side on the day of the game. And then quarterback change at like 10:30 in the morning. We kind of got hit with a brick.
Yep.
The line flip, too.
I didn't watch a second of the game either. I've never planned on it. It was just a cute play that I saw spot and I bet it. But yeah, we got screwed by injury late Saturday morning, which is kind of just what college is. Nobody's honest about their injuries anymore. Yeah. Duke laying 1.5 at home. They had opportunities here and
Georgia
they
Tech
just
was the better team.
Yeah. It was 7-7 for what felt like forever, and then it was 10-10 for what felt like forever, and then the fourth quarter happened, and Georgia Tech had gas left in the tank, and Duke didn't. And Mensa did not play as well as he had been all season. It's a bad loss for Manny Diaz. It basically ends their season as far as any opportunity to make the playoff. Also, thanks to Mario Cristobal in Miami losing, Georgia Tech's going to win the ACC. I think I'm pretty comfortable saying that at this point.
I was looking at it last night, just kind of like perusing the standings and stuff like that. Look out for Virginia, too. I was looking. You can get 2 really good numbers on some of these teams to win the ACC right now. Georgia Tech, I think, or to make the playoff, I should say. I think Georgia Tech's like plus 220. You can get Virginia at 4-1.
Really?
Yeah. Unless things have shook up since this morning, but
one of those 2 schools is getting in. Doesn't it feel that way?
I would say so, yeah.
That feels like a bet you have to make. One of those 2 schools is going to get in.
The way that I was kind of looking through here, let me pull up the playoff odds now. Just want to make sure I'm not misremembering this. To make the playoff, so Georgia Tech's now plus 115. No, never mind. I take that back. Vanderbilt was the team that was plus 240.
Okay.
That I was thinking of. But Virginia's 4-1. And I don't think Virginia's a terrible bet to make the playoff because you're basically asking them to win 1 game.
Doesn't Vandy feel like a pretty good bet, too?
I do. Yeah. No, I was looking through this board yesterday trying to find some spots. Even like a Louisville at plus 320. Like, I think you can find value on some of these ACC teams.
Now, Vandy does have a gauntlet end of the year. Mizzou, Texas, Auburn, Kentucky, Tennessee. But they've proven...
Tough, but it's definitely not as bad as some of the other SEC remaining strength of schedules. Like, you don't have to play Bama or Georgia or Ole Miss.
They've also proven they can win these games.
Yeah.
And they've already played Bama. Like, they're favored against Missouri. Texas, they'll probably be dogs, but I imagine they'll be favored at home over Auburn, who may have fired their head coach by then. In all likelihood, will have fired. I'm surprised they haven't done it already.
Yeah.
They'll be favored over Kentucky at home, who also might fire their head coach, Mark Stoops. I added him to the list on Tailgate this week. And then Tennessee. Tennessee is not all that hot of a product right now.
No.
Especially not with what happened to them against Bama, which was one of my spots of the week. Like, look, I bet Georgia laying 7.5. Now, I'll admit, I got lucky here.
Yeah.
You got to 8 the hard way.
Yeah.
Where you take a 5-point lead on a touchdown, and then you get to 8 on a field goal late and have to sweat the final Ole Miss drive. But Georgia covers the 7.5. Bama was a much easier and more convincing sniff. They housed Tennessee. 37-20 isn't indicative of how big of a blowout that was. And that's a blowout score. Bama killed Tennessee. And I if we have any hope against Robin Sugarland on our draft, Bama's our hope.
Yeah.
They're our lifeline.
They're second in the odds right now to win the whole thing. And to be honest, there's a case with the way that they're playing. If you remove that Florida State game, which took place week 1 and on the road, they've looked like one of the most impressive teams. Like, they're in that cluster of Ohio State and Indiana of the most impressive teams that we've seen so far this season.
Yeah, and Ty Simpson, I mean, the roll tie embrace of Ty Simpson at Alabama. Dude, he's been so good. And I was going to bring it up. Like, if there's It's him or Mendoza at this point. I mean, Mateer, another nothing performance in a win over South Carolina. He's out of it completely.
I would say this, though, like, I don't think this Heisman, there's probably some value on someone in the Heisman race.
Is it Julian Sayin at 4-1?
I was going to say either a Gunnar Stockton at 12-1 or maybe a Dante Moore 14-1.
What about CJ Carr 35-1? If you had to bet something.
The thing is, though, is he didn't put up good numbers this week. And I get that there's a weather component to all of that, but like
the interception he threw was horrible.
Are his numbers going to be good enough at the end of the year is the only, because when you've got running backs like that too, how easy is it? It's pretty difficult at that point to win the Heisman.
Now, granted, USC was a specific spot where you could deploy running backs differently than you will against a lot of teams because USC can't do anything against the run. That was a criminal loss on our part, by the way. USC, Notre Dame, that game should have soared over. You had USC go for a 4th and 4 in field goal range. They didn't get it. That's an instant killer. A lengthy drive that ends in no points because you don't convert the 4th down. It's a moment in the game where if they get it, you feel like we're going over. And if they don't, suddenly you're in a sweat when the total's 61.5. Then the other way, you had C.J. Carr lead Notre Dame down the field. This was, I believe, the immediate possession after the failed 4th down for USC. C.J. Carr leads his team down the field. They're on like the 2-yard line. And there's no handoff to Jeremiah Love. There's no handoff to the other one, Price.
Yeah, Javarian Price.
Instead, let's dance around back to the 25-yard line with our quarterback and have him throw an interception on the goal line.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's the over right there. Then you have life breathed back into you when Notre Dame runs a touchdown on a kick return. Okay, now we're cooking with gas. Missed extra point. So overtime is in play, but can't rely on Jaden Mayava because here's a fumble on the sideline. Here's an interception again. And like the rain once the rain started coming down, you could feel there are no more points to be had here.
It's a bet I don't regret one bit. But
no, not at all.
That we didn't get to the other side of the over.
It was the right side. We got killed. But we credit to both of us in the Holy War, Utah BYU. I think we both felt good about the Utah side, and we just thought, you know what's even better? Under 49.5.
Yep.
And it was really never in doubt. This was a scoreless game into the middle of the second quarter. These two teams, they're going to play at the line of scrimmage, and BYU, you know, forget about doubting them. But the Big 12, this is kind of where we want. If I want to start big picturing stuff, this is the conference I don't know what you do with anymore. It felt like Utah and Texas Tech were on a collision course to the Big 12 title. They both lost this weekend.
Yeah.
Texas Tech, good sniff by you, lost outright to Arizona State.
Yeah, I didn't see that coming. I just thought it was going to be more of a tangle, but yeah, credit to Arizona State because now all of a sudden they're back in this thing.
Like, if you really break down the Big 12 standings,
Isn't this what we thought this would be, though?
8 weeks in, I have no idea who's going to win this conference. Houston is live to win this conference. Like, if things break right, Iowa State can get back in it. TCU can get back in it. Baylor can get back in it.
There's going to be one team that rips off a lot of wins down the stretch that, like, really impacts head-to-head, and they'll be the team that sort of weasels their way into that final spot in the Big 12 championship.
Who would have thought, by the way, and I'm proud of myself for never putting their coach on the 10 hottest seats because a lot of people were. Cincinnati might win the Big 12.
Yeah. They look good this year. They really do. And it's sitting at 4-0 in the conference, 6-1 overall. It hasn't really been anything super impressive. They did have that one win against Iowa State earlier on this year, but I mean, good for them. They're finding ways, and I think back to our weekend in Vegas too when they spoiled Cap's like 11 grand parlay too, and that was a big win.
Yeah, and it was Scott Satterfield. Scott Satterfield entered the year. People said he's going to get fired. Like this is it for him. Brendan Sorsby at quarterback, the old Indiana quarterback.
Yep.
He's been terrible throughout his career. And you look up and go, Sorsby's playing some of the best quarterback in the conference, and they might just fuck around and win it and find themselves playing playoff games. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
And now also we have entered the territory of the season where SEC fans are starting the inevitable, well, if the Big Ten had to play our schedule. I saw an Oklahoma fan post their schedule. and say, what would Ohio State's record be if they had to play our schedule? I'm sorry, you lost to Texas. Do you know who beat Texas?
Yeah.
Like, give it up.
No, we're reaching the hypothetical season right now, where everything's about the hypothetical games instead of the ones that are actually played on the football field in the SEC. And I get, like, listen, what do they have? 10 ranked teams right now. You got 5 inside the top 10. I get it's a bloodbath. It's not like it's not a bloodbath in other conferences too. The Big Ten's going to do a lot of the same. The Big 12, not saying that the Big 12 is better than the SEC, but they're going to be cannibalizing themselves too. These teams just have familiarity with each other, and I don't know, man. Like, I'm waiting for things to fall down, for that house of cards to fall with A&M too. It almost happened this week against Arkansas.
Yep.
But the teams that I feel best about in the SEC in the given moment, Bama. I think I would put Georgia in that category too. I'd still take Ole Miss as well. I think I know they choked things away in that fourth quarter against Georgia.
They could have very easily won that game.
You scored 5 touchdowns on your first 5 possessions of the game, and then you didn't get a first down after that.
Yeah, it was the fourth quarter when they popped up the graphic, and Georgia had like 160 yards, and Ole Miss had 1.
Yeah.
At the end of the fourth quarter. That was really the difference. But for the most part, Chambliss was good. A little inaccurate, but good overall. And rushing, I mean, there's clear rushing upside. Just if that gets played in the SIP, it might look a little different at the end than between the hedges. But the reality is you played between the hedges, and Georgia got to bear down defensively at the end of it. The A&M thing, I'm with you. I do think that's going to collapse at some point. They feel a bit like Icarus flying too close to the sun.
Like, look at their next 2 games, at LSU, at Mizzou. I have a hard time seeing them making it out of that 2-0.
You see this number at LSU?
I just saw it, and boy, do I like the Tigers.
I've done a good job fading LSU this year, but that might be a spot to play them. Plus 2.5 at home against A&M at night.
Mm-hmm.
There's such night game merchants down there, man, in the Bayou.
Yep. That's the premier SEC game, it looks like. That's 6:30 ABC.
I still feel unmoved, and so do the voters, apparently. Ohio State and Indiana, to me, are the 2 best teams in the country. Indiana played with their food a little bit.
Yeah.
But Michigan State was never in that game. Ohio State looks like a total juggernaut. It just continues to
and
look
I know
like
they've
a
got the
total
loss to
juggernaut.
the name, but to be honest, I think Alabama's in their category too.
Yeah, I agree. I think Ohio State, Indiana, Alabama.
I've just seen it too many times in a row now with Bama, with these last, 3 big games that they've had.
No, and you said it over the weekend. Maybe losing to Florida State was the best thing that could have happened to this team.
Actually, I should say 4 straight games, because they went on the road and beat Georgia. Like, listen to this resume. Going on the road and beating Georgia. At home, beating Vanderbilt, and really just kind of choking out Vanderbilt in that game. Going on the road to beat Mizzou in a game that showed 3 points. It wasn't that close.
Yep.
And then doing what you did to Tennessee this week. And those are some of the better teams that I, at least in my personal rankings of who's the best in the SEC, you're talking about 2 or 3 of those teams that would be in my top 4 or 5.
One final thought for me related to the AP poll. Never look at the AP poll ever again. It's a total joke.
That's all we got right now.
Can you figure out
When do we get playoff rankings? Do you know?
next week?
Awesome.
Or it might,
Beautiful.
Is it tomorrow or is it next week?
No, isn't it usually around when college basketball starts?
Yeah, because they typically reveal it during
the Champions
Classic. Michigan is ranked 25th. USC is the first team receiving votes.
Make it make sense.
If only we had a head-to-head matchup where one of those 2 teams won by 3 touchdowns to decide which one is better than the other. Since, they have the same record and one of them won by 3 touchdowns, I understand why Michigan's ranked ahead of USC. I get it.
Yeah.
Like, it's just the AP poll's so
And the
nonsense.
funniest part, too, is that Illinois is ranked, 3 spots ahead of where USC is right now. And, boy, we've got ourselves a data point there. Where Illinois beat USC. Makes sense. But then Michigan, make it make more sense here. Come on.
It's just stupid.
And let me tell you this. USC's game at Illinois was a hell of a lot closer than Michigan's game at USC.
Correct. It's just people who vote for the logo and aren't actually watching the games. And that's the part that bothers me, because how are you voting on this if you're actually voting Michigan ahead of USC? It makes no sense. They have the same record, and USC punked them. You can't rank Michigan ahead of USC, ever.
Yep.
Anybody doing that is a shill.
Yeah.
Just to be clear.
Mm-hmm. Real quick, one last college thing,
Yeah,
unless you've
please.
got something else too. Notre Dame, you think they're in?
The playoff?
Yeah.
I went Jim Mora mode
Yeah,
there.
you just did. That was like a really spot on Mora.
Jesus, that was it. Like I wasn't even intending to do a Jim Mora impression, but I did.
So they're 5-2. I think their toughest game is now behind them after beating USC. You're at BC, home against Navy, at Pitt, home against Cuse, at Stanford.
BC's awful.
All of these games have gotten easier, not harder.
Yeah, Navy
Maybe
is
not Navy, but like
Navy's good, but we see
we've
this
seen
last
We've
year.
seen this, yeah.
Like Navy can be the most fun story ever.
Notre Dame will be a 3-touchdown favorite in the game.
And they'll boat race Navy.
Yeah.
Last year, Navy was ranked. I think they were even like top 15 maybe. And Notre Dame just fucking killed them.
Mm-hmm.
Pitt,
let's
I
call
think,
it-
is bad. Syracuse is bad. Stanford is bad. Notre Dame's going to make the
call it
playoff.
10-2. 10-2 Notre Dame in.
They're in.
All right.
They're ranked 12th right now.
Yeah.
I can't imagine the CFP is going to knock them lower than that. Notre Dame's going to get in.
Yeah, 10-2. You're only going to elevate. Teams ahead of you probably are going to drop.
I'll tell you, too, Notre Dame's offense is getting better.
Yeah.
It's like now at a point where it's just good. It might be straight up the best rushing offense in the country, pound for pound.
Yeah.
Defensively, I think they've improved.
Yeah.
And they're is this another year where Notre Dame's going to stumble out of the gate, and then by the time we're looking at a playoff bracket, we're both looking at it the same way we did last year and go, I think you bet Notre Dame to win it all here.
Yeah, they'll be like the 7th seed.
Yeah, like it's going to happen again. We're just going to fire away on Notre Dame to win it all. Notre Dame, Ohio State, exact matchup.
And run it back.
Yeah, why not?
National title. I wonder what you can get Notre Dame to win it all right now. Real quick, let me check on what that is. Because that isn't the worst bet in
Yeah,
the
like
book.
if you're looking at CJ Carr to win the Heisman, you're not going to, in all likelihood, you're not going to get the numbers you need.
Notre Dame's 11-1 right now. It's like just teetering on the edge of like, I think about it, but I'm also looking for a little more. But it's the best that we'll see of the number the rest of the year.
The thing is, though, like you bet it now and then they stub their toe and they don't get in. If you wait, because think about last year, what were they, the 8 or 9 seed?
Yeah.
And they were 8-1 going into it. So if you just wait and hope that they get shitty matchups where they might not be favored, like last year, when they had the Georgia game, then you might get a decent number.
Problem is I think they'll get a better seed than 8.
Maybe. My point is I don't want to be betting natty winners before I see what the bracket looks like.
Okay.
Because a lot of the calculus last year with Ohio State and with Notre Dame wasn't, I felt like on November 15th they could win the national championship. It was more, look at how this bracket comes out.
Yeah.
Ohio State's home against Tennessee. They're winning that game. And then the way that they matched up throughout, you go, I kind of think Ohio State can just win this.
Yeah.
Notre Dame was the same deal. The way that they got paired, like Indiana, you knew they were loading Indiana into a cannon. And then Georgia, we both felt like they had an opportunity because Georgia was down. Penn State, you know what that is. James Franklin can't win the big one. Like, I need to see the bracket to feel like I can see what the vision is for these teams.
Yeah.
Betting it now does me no good.
Right.
All right, on to the national.
Some pro football.
We covered Thursday night a little bit already. If you missed it, we did it on the Picks podcast. That was available to you wherever you get your podcasts and also on the YouTube. We released that on last Friday. The rest of the weekend, it was as up and down as things get. We both dodged Rams-Jags. In hindsight, I wish I had just pulled the trigger on the Rams. It felt kind of obvious.
I'm not going to lie. I was kind of feeling the other way.
Were you really?
Yeah, and I'm glad like I didn't give it out, but like the Jaguars and the way that I saw everything, especially with the injuries, you saw Puka go down and then Haverstein goes down, the right tackle for them. And then just the way that LA kind of approached the week too, practicing at Camden Yards.
I know.
What the fuck was that?
I know.
It seemed like they were kind of taking this game for granted. I think they got to London late too. Like I think they flew out Friday, I want to say. Like nothing really made all that much sense. Jacksonville definitely got out there before them too.
So then go figure. Stafford throws 5 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Devontae Adams catches 3 of them.
Yeah.
Rams blow them out. Jacksonville's got serious questions. How you go forward with Trevor Lawrence, I don't know. And I think, like, Liam Cohen might be good. Travis Hunter finally scored. It feels like that was a mistaken process a little bit, trading up for him, especially with what the Browns have gotten out of it. We'll get to that game in a moment, but it does feel like a little bit of an error that Jacksonville traded up for Travis Hunter with how limited use they've gotten out of him. He can't do a true 50-50 split defense and offense.
Yeah.
He hasn't been super productive for them as a receiver. They have to make a decision.
Yeah.
But the quarterback is really going to hold them back.
But what I'll say is this. With what we've seen out of all of these top pick quarterbacks, isn't Trevor Lawrence just the next one to follow the
Probably.
Darnold, Geno, Daniel Jones model? Like, you've already paid him. He's locked in for the foreseeable future. I'm just willing to trust this right now that Liam Cohen, if he is what you paid him to be as your head coach, they'll figure this out at some point. And maybe it won't be this year. It may not be next year. But at some point, I think they figure it out. Trevor Lawrence had way too much talent.
They also have to help him out on the offensive line. 7 sacks. It wasn't all his fault. That's the Rams teeing off a little bit as a pass rush, which it's one of the better pass rushes you'll face.
And you pin your ears back when you're up 4 touchdowns, too. Like, that's just how it goes.
Rams needed a spot like this, too, to get right if they're going to live up to Super Bowl aspirations that people like me had for them. It starts to feel like a little bit more like they're getting right. Okay, Cleveland, Miami. This was an excellent job by both of us.
Yes.
Just lay it with Cleveland, laying 2.5 at home. This wasn't remotely close. And you talk about a quarterback you can't go forward with. This one I do believe you can't go forward with Tua.
I agree.
We know what Tua is now.
Yep. Arm strength's not there. Not that you could really put that on display with what the weather conditions were in that game, but still, that game was dedicated to the ground, and one team's good at stopping the run. The other team is the worst in the league at stopping the run.
I talked about what Cleveland got out of the trade where Travis Hunter went to Jacksonville. Their quarterback was a rookie. Their leading rusher was a rookie. Their leading receiver was a rookie. Like, it just – you could have spent it all on Travis Hunter.
Hey, you know what else? Their leading tackler was a rookie as well.
You could have spent it all on Travis Hunter, or you could make the trade that they made and gotten a bunch of picks. And I'm not sitting here telling you Cleveland's going to win a Super Bowl next season, but I feel better about their future than I do Miami. And I will, with pretty high degree of comfort, sit here and say, I think Miami has the worst 3-year outlook of any team in the league by a country fucking mile. Your quarterback is a sunk cost at like a near maximum. Like, if we were talking NBA deals, you gave this guy a supermax contract, and he blows. You're going to fire your coach. Your defense is old and bad. Like, this is going to be painful.
No, I 100% agree. Like,
and they can't even trade Tyreek Hill because he's out for the year.
Right. And I wonder if Waddle's the one that moves.
I hope, because I own him in fantasy.
That's the only guy that really has value, like Waddle and maybe like Devon Achane, if you can find a suitor for him. Like, there's always going to be a team at the deadline looking for a running back.
But these aren't guys you're going to get high picks
Waddle,
for.
I think you could get something good for, but yeah, running back with Achane, you're not getting anything. You're going to offload. Like, Jalen Phillips is probably also going to go.
Bradley
Chubb, another guy. Like, they're going to be the most popular team probably come trade deadline.
And I think their outlook is horrific.
Yeah.
I don't know who you hire to fix this. The front office side of it, they're going to have to tear this down to the studs, but you can only do that so much when you've locked up. Like, do you understand how badly they mismanaged the Tua situation? If they had moved on from him last offseason, they would have no guaranteed money owed to him in 2026. But because they rostered him and have played him this season, he is locked into a fully guaranteed $56 million next season.
There's nothing you can, like, your hands are tied. You're going to fire the coach. It's going to be, and what coach is going to want to come in? Like, who's the brilliant offensive mind out there right now that's going to come in and say, yep, I'm the one that can fix Tua?
Nobody. There is nobody.
It's not just that there's going to be a vacancy, but it's one of the most unattractive jobs as well.
It's so brutal. And again, I picked up a huge win for my worst record bet. It'd be nice if Aaron Glenn could do fucking anything about it, but we'll get to that. Let's go to Saints-Bears. Bears win 26-14. I want to know if you felt the way I felt about this.
Okay.
I'll use 2 words to describe my feeling this morning on a Victory Monday. Deeply uninspired.
I think there's one I get why you're saying that. It's because of the quarterback, but the defense was tremendous.
Excellent.
The run game was
Excellent.
incredible once again. And I get that's not the sexy way to win football in 2025, but I'm fine with it. Like, you went out and you convincingly beat a bad team at home. Like, I get that you want to see more from the quarterback, and I wonder how much of the game plan was predicated on we're anticipating for bad weather. We're not really pouring a ton of resources into turning this into a passing football game for Caleb. Now, Caleb's got to be better. He certainly, he missed some guys. There were some drops too, but
Rome didn't help him.
The passing game needs to be better. There was the weird, terrible offensive pass interference pick play call on Colston Loveland too. That was bad. I think it will get better. You got a good chance against a Ravens defense coming up.
I agree.
You've got a porous Cincinnati team the week after that you should be able to exploit. I want to see what it looks like the next 2 weeks. For now, I'm happy with the win because there's not a lot of times where you can say the quarterback played poorly and you still won the game. I thought he did a good enough job of just game managing this game to go out and win this thing.
Yeah, for me, it was I agree. The rush offense it's such a positive to hang your hat on, and it feels good to have that going forward. I think it's real. The offensive line got right over the bye week is the way it feels.
Yeah.
They've gelled a little bit.
I don't know what the fuck's going on with Drew Dahlman, but that's another story.
Yeah, well, I don't just give up the football. I don't get it.
Yeah. We used to have this play. Did you ever play flag football growing up? So there was this play that I don't know why they allowed it in our flag football league. I don't know if this was a thing for you guys. It was called the center sneak, where all you had to do was the center had to snap it. The quarterback, all they had to do was touch the ball, and then the center could keep it and run with it.
Yeah, I don't
Drew Dahlman was trying to run the goddamn center sneak.
And you know what's funny is I think he could have run it because the officials had no clue who had the football.
Right.
That should have been an illegal snap. It should have been a penalty. They didn't throw a flag on it. If he just gets up and runs into the end zone, I wonder what happens.
Yeah.
If they would have assumed it was a fumble, obviously you have to review a scoring play, but you can't throw a flag on a review. So if they just missed it and he runs into the end zone, I do wonder if it would have been a touchdown. Regardless, my feeling on it is more like if Caleb had just played bad or if Caleb had just played okay and you win, I'd feel pretty good this morning. He was terrible yesterday. And that's where I'm like, and I'm not making a season-long proclamation because I do think that they are playoff caliber. And now the record has suited into a way where, and the schedule suits up in a way where you can start to think about this and go, yeah, they're going to make the playoffs. But at some point, I want to do a Monday show, whether it's this one or the Bears podcast or Cap and Hood, where I feel like Caleb is the reason you won.
I'm trying to think, he has had some fourth quarter comeback moments, which it's just never been putting together 4 quarters, which was part of his problem last year too.
Yeah.
But I will say there is still encouraging stuff in the sack prevention department. That's night and day from a year ago, but the accuracy is not there. Some of the decision-making is still a little questionable at times. The interception was just bad all around, bad physical, bad mental.
Yep.
So it's, again, I don't think the game plan totally was catered to, all right, this is what we're expecting. Because even Ben Johnson talked about it with the coin flip too, where the weather was a little bit tamer in the first half, and they won the toss and took the ball. And he said part of the reason why was because we wanted to control which direction we were going in the second half for wind purposes.
Yep.
So I think they were maybe anticipating worse weather, and that's why maybe you didn't see as much of a dedication to the pass game in the game plan.
Which is fine. Now we're in prove-it territory
You
again.
ran the hell out of the ball,
yeah,
so it didn't really matter.
And I'm really happy about that. And I do think, look, the number's 6.5. It's scary a little bit that you're that big of a dog at Baltimore. I kind of think you're going to win. My early lean on it would be Bears plus 6.5, and I kind of think they just win the game. That was also my last win of the day was under 43.5.
We just got there too. It looked like we were going to be in a little bit of trouble after that first half.
We got through by the skin of our teeth, and all that matters is we got to win. Eagles, Vikings. Eagles were laying 2.5 on the road. We both took the Vikings, and I think we got fucking hosed by Carson Wentz.
By Carson Wentz. How about by the officiating too? I don't know how you overturned that T.J. Hawkinson play.
I don't either. We got hosed by everything in this game. That was a spread covering touchdown on the part of TJ Hawkinson that they overturn as an incomplete pass and it results in a field goal. But anytime that you have 6 red zone trips and you come up with field goals in 5 of them, I'm going to blame the quarterback.
Yeah.
That can't happen. Wentz played a very Wentzian game against his old team. Could not convert in the red zone. Could not end drives with 7 points instead of 3. The interception that he threw for the pick 6 was terrible. Like, we got hosed. It is what it is. I feel the same way kind of about both teams. And look, the Eagles might be 5-2. They've been outgained now in all 7 games that they've played.
Now, I will say this, like the passing game, it was a lot of chunk plays and a lot of explosives, and that's what this team is really predicated on. The reason why I think I'd be not as encouraged as an Eagles fan offensively is you can't get the running game going.
No, not at all. Their offensive line is bad.
And Juergens went down in this game too. Yep. Like, you're dealing with injuries now. You're talking about second and third string guys on the offensive line. It's just, if they can figure out the run game, we can start talking about them like we did last year as being one of these great Super Bowl caliber teams. But as they stand right now, without that run game, I can't get there.
And the reality, too, is like the Flores side of this. I'll say this. If either of these teams make the playoffs, I can't wait to bet against them in a playoff game. Flores on third down. Make up your fucking mind, dude. Are you going to rush 7 or are you going to rush 3? That third down play at the end against A.J. Brown when he just blew by whoever the DB was, I forget, cooked him on a little double move on the outside. Yards of separation, and Jalen Hurts just threw him a lollipop to float under.
Yeah.
If you're going to rush 3, you got to cover. If you're not going to cover, don't rush 3. Like, Flores has to make up his mind at some point on what you're going to do in third and long. Are you going to be aggressive or are you going to play conservative? But if you can't cover man-to-man, then you kind of just got to be aggressive.
And that's a tough team to do this against, too. When you've got guys like Devontae and A.J. Brown.
100%.
Like, I get that they haven't been happy with their output so far this season, but they're still talented football players that will beat you off the line.
Patriots-Titans, I think both took the Titans plus 7. This closed 6.5. It's a bet I would make again because what did I tell you last week? If this doesn't cover, it's because Drake May is awesome. What happened in the game? Drake May set the Patriots' single-game record for completion percentage.
Yep.
I don't care who you do it against. You start setting single-game records for Tom Brady's franchise, you're pretty fucking good.
Yeah, and then the flip side of it was we said it's either going to be Drake May is awesome, or Cam Ward does one of the dumbest things you've ever seen on a football field. Both happened in this game.
How did he fumble that?
I do not know.
The scoop and score.
I do not know.
If you missed it, Cam Ward just goes right arm up to throw, only ball not there. It throws it straight backwards, fumble. I don't know how he let go of it. And it ends up being a Patriots touchdown and really a difference in the game. As soon as that happened, I texted you and I was like, well, we're dead.
Yep.
And it was funny because Patriots score a touchdown to go up 11. And I'm like, this is dumb gambler brain. But I feel like chasing 11 and needing to cover a 7-point spread, I'd rather be chasing 11 than chasing 7. And then immediately they're chasing 18. And I'm like, okay, game over.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming out. Vrabel got his lick back, so good for him. Chiefs Raiders.
They're fucking back, man.
I got 2 takeaways here. One, Chiefs are a bona fide Super Bowl contender, and if you want to just say they're the best team in football, I wouldn't fight you that hard about it. I know the record wouldn't say that, but the performances that they've put out, you're right, they're back. Rashee Rice, they got him a touchdown. The
best the offense has looked in 3-4 years.
A long, long time. And then the other side of it is less about the Chiefs' defense and more about you talk about Miami as having a bleak outlook. I think the Raiders are equally bad.
The Raiders tried to microwave this season with not a great amount of players or not great quality of players. Trying to microwave your season with Geno Smith. Come on, man.
I think they fucked up hiring Pete Carroll because I think it made them more aggressive in their decision-making to win right now. They screwed up trading for Geno. And this is, nobody's going to go back and ever look at this game. But I have to imagine it's one of the single worst offensive performances in NFL history. 30 total plays run.
Yeah.
The Chiefs had 30 first downs.
Yep.
You ran 30 total plays. You ran the ball for 25 yards. Like, that's got to be.
With your running back that you drafted inside the top 10, by the way.
You had 3 total first downs, and one of them was by penalty. So you actually achieved 2 first downs in the game. Yeah, you traded picks for a quarterback who's terrible. You spent the 5th pick in the draft on a running back who looks terrible. Your offensive line blows. You're going to probably have to trade Max Crosby. You're probably going to have to fire Pete Carroll and replace him after a year. You're probably going to have to draft a quarterback. Like this, you talk about Miami being painful. The Raiders are the only other team I would put in Miami's camp of like, this is going to be really bad for a while.
Yeah. And I wonder how much of it is the Brady effect, too. Like, Brady doesn't tank. Brady doesn't do that. He wants to win now.
Yep.
And Pete Carroll, you can like him or not as a head coach, but that is a we're trying to win now type of move as a head coach. Even Geno Smith, to a degree, you're trying to not tank by trading for Geno Smith. And it just feels like, I won't even say like you half-assed it, because I don't think that's necessarily true. It's just the rest of your organization was not ready to be put in this situation right now.
Yep, 100%. Our gritty-ass Panthers. 13-6 winners over the New York Football Jets. Really, either team could have lost this game.
Yep.
And it's exactly what we said. We like Bryce Young at home. We don't like Bryce Young on the road. If you bet the Panthers, good for you. You got to win, mostly because Tyrod Taylor's terrible and Justin Fields is worse.
Yep. And now it looks like Bryce Young's not going to play next week against Buffalo either with that ankle sprain.
Yeah. So I'm going to be honest with everybody.
That's a good win total win for us.
Oh, huge win total win. You're sitting at 4-3. You got a chance maybe it's starting to think about playoff football in Carolina. Like next week is a scheduled loss, but you move on from that.
You want to know our worst win total game of the year?
Giants-Broncos?
Yep. That's one we had in the fucking bag, man.
Speaking of games that people will revisit.
Yeah. An all-time classic.
Again, I don't want to do the instant reaction hyperbole thing that like we so often fall into the trap of in sports radio. That's one of the greatest collapses and equally one of the greatest comebacks in the history of the NFL. 33 points in a single quarter.
Do you think it was more collapse or comeback?
I have a hard time with it because I think both things have to be true. The Giants have to have 5 of the worst defensive possessions imaginable. But the Broncos equally have to be perfect on 5 consecutive possessions. So both things have to be true.
It's the 2-pointers. Like when you start getting multiple 2-pointers, that's when you know shit's going right for you.
Yes. And that ends up being the difference in the game. Also, the Giants side of things, like, look, I know that they scored 32 points here, and they've got a young quarterback, and they have an offensive head coach. I'd fire him. Like, I'd just get rid of him. You hired Shane Bowen. He might be the worst defensive coordinator anybody has ever seen. You made the decision to go with this kicker that missed 2 extra points. A year after, you made the decision to stick with injured Graham Gano and lost a game because he wasn't available to kick against Washington.
I mean, it's tough to be mad about the fact that you've got a backup kicker in there who's missing extra points. It's tough for me to really pin that on the head coach. I get that we've seen some of these other kickers go out there and be pretty good. Lucas Haversick had the longest field goal in Packers history this weekend. Jake Moody's been pretty good for the Bears too. But you're losing games on extra points. I don't think this is a Dable issue. I would ride out with Dable through the rest of the season because I think you're starting to like this loss sucks for Giants fans. Sucks.
Terrible.
But you see there's a light at the end of the tunnel here, right? Like what you're getting offensively with Jackson Dart with his ability to stage a comeback in this game.
Yeah.
I mean, the pick was terrible. You can't have that.
Horrid.
You can't have that happening.
The accuracy's really bad, too. I mean, we got to be real. Completing 45% of the passes. One of the touchdowns was a kind of iffy throw that got deflected, luckily, into a tight end running across the play.
No, it's all fair. But you can see like a semblance of we're building something here. Something seems to be built in New York.
I still think Dable and Shane both got to be out at the end of the season. But I was stunned that Denver won the game.
Yeah.
It was over. And somehow 26-8 with like 12 minutes left, Denver finds a way to win
here, The total in the game for the whole game was 40.5. They scored 46 in the fourth quarter alone. That's fucking nuts. You don't see that happening. Ever.
The Giants had a 98% chance to cover the money line with under 5 minutes remaining.
Jeez. I don't know how that one went south.
Chargers-Colts. Colts win 38-24. Probably the most convincing win they've had yet this season. We were both on the Chargers. America was on the Chargers. They were 1-point favorites, closed at 2.5. It felt like the right side in the game pregame, but it was over pretty quick. Like out of the gate, I'm like, oh, Colts are just going to do this again. The fun fact on the Colts side of things is they are the number one offense this century in a points per drive basis. They are further away from number 2, who is the 2007 undefeated New England Patriots. They are further away from number 2 than number 2 is from number 6.
With Brady and Moss breaking records there.
This is the most efficient offense we've ever seen through 7 weeks. It's incredible.
Yeah. I think a lot of, like, Daniel Jones has been fantastic. Tyler Warren's been an excellent pick for them as well. Jonathan Taylor's back. Like, he is back to
incredible.
the elite level Jonathan, because it's not just like, oh, he's getting goal line touches inside the 5. You're seeing a lot of like 20-plus yard touchdowns out of him, and that has strung together. It's why this thing works. It's because the running game works. Then you open up the play action, and I don't know. I was telling you this before we started recording here, but everyone's drawn the parallel to, oh, this is the Vikings from a year ago. Offensive-minded head coach, Salvation Project quarterback, but it feels a little more sustainable to me in the fact that Alec Pierce, Tyler Warren, and Michael Pittman are not Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, and TJ Hawkinson.
Bingo.
It's not even close, and you're getting it done with those guys. And that's not to take away anything from those three on the Colts. They're solid to good players. They're not elite-level superstars like Justin Jefferson over there making things happen. And that's not to take away what the Vikings did last year. They were tremendous. But I just think this is a little more sustainable because something just feels a little different with Daniel Jones versus Sam Darnold, too. I don't know what it is. I can't pin it. Maybe it's the rushing ability on top of the ability to throw the football, too, that creates this added dimension that helps out Jonathan Taylor in the running game. But something feels a little different between those two.
I also just think they're hitting a level of excellence that you can't fake.
Yeah.
And
you know what it might be? We've seen Daniel Jones have a good season in the NFL before. We had not seen Sam Darnold.
He won a road playoff game.
Yeah.
And it makes, again, this goes back to my Dable thing. Like, everybody blamed Daniel Jones as the reason it wasn't working for the Giants. I don't know if you can do that anymore. You give Daniel Jones to Shane Steichen, he looks like an MVP.
Yeah.
They've got them, again, the most efficient offense this century on a points per drive basis.
Yep.
It's astounding. And it's not, you're not faking it anymore. You went and body bagged the Chargers. You didn't just beat them. You threw them in a dumpster.
A good defensive-minded team, too, with Jesse Minter. And they got Khalil Mack back in this game.
The Chargers side of things, if they can't make a trade on their O-line, they're not making the playoffs.
No.
This is total disaster.
When I saw Mekhi Becton go out, too, I was like, oh, boy.
Herbert's been pressured. Yesterday, Herbert was pressured on 57% of his dropbacks. That you can't operate.
Yeah. And even some of the ones that weren't sacks and weren't, like, not quarterback knockdowns, I don't know how he got rid of the ball on some of those. It was mind-boggling to me. One real quick thing on the LA side here, and Herbert set his career high in passing yards here. They found a tight end too, Arondé Gadsden, my guy out of Syracuse.
Q's
oh my
guy.
Goodness, 7 for 164 and a touchdown in this game. He was tremendous.
I have a question, betting wise. Can you find me a number on the Colts to win the Super Bowl?
I can look, yeah.
You're getting the worst of it now, and I'm not going to sit here and say that they are winning the Super Bowl. I'm also not going to sit here and tell you they can't. They have the inside track on the 1 seed in the AFC by quite a margin at this point. They won't play New England. They won't play Buffalo. They won't play Kansas City. In fact, the rest of their schedule is relatively easy. They do play Kansas City and Arrowhead, but Kansas City's got 2 more losses than they do.
Yeah.
The rest of their schedule, for the most part, pretty easy.
Right now, I'm seeing Nick's got it up on
12 to
screen,
1.
12 to 1.
Is that worth a buy?
Here, look at the teams around him. All right, you can have the Rams at 12-1, or you can have the Colts at 12-1.
And I get the easy thing to say is,
You can have Tampa at 18-1, or the Colts at 12-1. I still listen. I'm not taking away from what they are, but in the playoffs, you're still going to have to face at least Buffalo or Kansas City, and maybe both of them.
And it's Daniel Jones. Like, is it too simple for me to say the reason Indy can't win the Super Bowl is because Daniel Jones will have to be their quarterback in a playoff game?
I wouldn't even say that, because he's playing Super Bowl caliber football right now on the offensive side. It's just that how long can you sustain this, and can you go head-to-head against Allen and Mahomes? And, like, listen, we can love Daniel Jones all we want. Patrick Mahomes is playing just as well and probably better.
He's going to win MVP.
He
in
is,
all likelihood.
Yeah. And deservedly so.
Yeah, the Chiefs are right back to the favorite for. By the way, speaking of MVP odds, I do want to bring this up. The Chiefs, again, are the favorite for the Super Bowl, which is, there you go. Do you see on the screen here who's fourth in MVP odds?
Yeah, I saw.
We talked about this off air at a bar this week. Like, it was 16-1, I think. And I was like, I think it's a pretty good buy. It was Drake May at 16-1. He's now plus 750. He's got the fourth best odds in football to win MVP. And I would just say to anybody who's sitting there like, oh, well, Drake May can't win MVP. You don't watch Patriots games. He absolutely can.
Yes. And especially, you laid it out last week, the next, 4 games that they have?
They play no one.
Yeah.
The rest of their season, like you look at it and go, yeah, but he's building all these numbers against teams that are 1-6. Do you know what the rest of their season is? Teams that are 1-6.
It's a regular season award, too.
Even at plus 750, I think it might be worth a purchase because, one, he's outstanding, and two, there is no resistance in front of him.
The other name, I heard Abdallah bring this up earlier today on Carmen and Yurko as a potential buy. Dak Prescott, you can get at 33-1.
Yeah, I know.
And he's playing MVP caliber football, and if they're winning games the way that that Dallas has to win games, he's going to have the numbers to do it.
The big fear there is they won't win enough. Let's talk about that quick because, look, they bludgeoned Washington, 44-22, final score. Dak was outstanding in the game. The George Pickens connection is real.
Yeah.
Pickens is awesome.
You got CD back this week, too. You can run the football.
I'm going to tell you, I think Pittsburgh made a mistake, and I said it in the offseason, and I'll say it again now. I thought trading George Pickens away was silly. If you can't fix him, that says more about what Mike Tomlin is able to do in the locker room than it is what he is as a player. And now in Dallas, he's running free. And they're happy to take the George Pickens play of the week because he's just elite.
Yeah.
And they beat the shit out of Washington.
Yeah.
But
I don't know if Pittsburgh really regrets it, though.
No, probably not.
Because, I mean, DK's been very good for them. Rodgers has been a good quarterback for them as well.
But DK had his own Pickens play of the week, getting his ass stripped on the sideline.
Yeah. No, he did. But listen, you're going to deal with some of that stuff. If you're Pittsburgh and you're losing games when you're scoring 30-plus points, I don't think you feel like it's the end of the world.
Washington, concern level.
I think they're just kind of who we thought they were at the beginning of the season. Like, they're they're not a bad team. They're better than like an average team. But it's going to be you're going to have to claw your way into the playoffs in what the NFC is this year.
And now Jaden Daniels is hurt, so enjoy.
So we'll see what the MRIs bring back on that. But
you see who they got next week?
I've not, no.
Kansas City. They are 10.5-point dogs in Arrowhead.
So that's that. Move them to 3-5,
and then they get Seattle.
Yeah,
and then they get Detroit.
Well, yeah, and those games are important because now you're talking about trying to stack conference games and tiebreaker games. You already lost your one to the Bears. You lost a big one there against Dallas. And now if you lose one to Seattle, who could also be vying for a playoff spot, you could be the odd man out when all things are equal at the end of the year.
I don't think they make the playoffs.
I don't either.
As I sit here today. But I didn't preseason. I felt like there was prime regression candidacy in Washington, and we're seeing it play out now. Green Bay, Arizona. Packers win 27-23. I'll keep this one short. They are the worst first-place team I've watched all year. They are fucking infuriating as a watch. They had really no business winning this game. Josh Jacobs wills them through at the end.
I will give them credit for this. LaFleur, who we know is no analytics darling, did a very, very risky thing at the end of the game and went for it on 4th and 3 as opposed to kicking the field goal to tie the game. And I'll tip my hat to that. You executed. It was a great play that Tucker Kraft and Jordan Love stepped up in a big moment.
And the real key was Micah Parsons getting the sack, which is what they brought him in for.
3 of
Now,
them.
in the NFL, there's no style points. You win or you lose. And the most important thing for the Packers right now is winning.
Yeah, especially on the road.
As somebody who said they were going to win the North, watching them is a fucking chore. They're brutal as an observer.
Yeah. No, they had to come back. Did you see the stats, too, on the flip side with the Cardinals? They are the first team in NFL history to have a 7+ point lead going into the fourth quarter and losing all 3 games in 3 straight games.
They just don't know how to win.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one of those cliches that plays out true with certain teams. The Cardinals are one of them. They got to learn to win. They have 0 closing ability right now. And they got big quarterback
And
questions,
listen,
too.
You flip those 3 games, they're a 5-2 football team.
Yep. Yeah,
And they're joining that cluster in the NFC West.
they're also joining that cluster of teams that might be in for a brutally difficult rebuild, because the reality is their offense looks the same, if not better, with Jacoby Brissett as it did with Kyler Murray. And if that's what an offense looks like compared to with a $50 million quarterback, then you got questions you got to ask yourself.
Yeah, you got to be with the best drafting team in the league when you have that.
Last game of the day, Niners-Falcons. A lot of people thought the Falcons were a big-time spot here. I just stayed away from it. Niners win by 10.
I think we've got a pretty good grasp on betting the Falcons week to week. You and I feel like have done a very good job. I was on the Niners in this game. I felt good about it. CMC was great in this game. To me, it doesn't really matter all that much who's at quarterback, whether it's Brock or Mac Jones.
Nope.
And, yeah, I just think the Niners, they know how to overcome – no team knows how to overcome injury like the San Francisco 49ers.
And it goes back to the cliche I was just talking about. The Niners know how to win.
Yeah.
Close games, late, at home, you can bet the Niners are going to win.
Yep.
All right. All Lions tonight. Lay the 6. I'd bet it out to 10. I think they're going to hammer Tampa. Nothing on the other game for me. Seattle and Houston. We'll wait and see. But I need the Lions to have a winning week. So go Lions.
I've got nothing tonight. I'm just going to be kicking my feet up. I'm actually more in tune to the baseball tonight. The Game 7, I like both of the pitchers' outs under.
I don't have any bet on that game at all. I'm going to watch and enjoy. And frankly, I'm rooting for Seattle.
I am too. I would love to see. Well, not just because my brother's turned into a Mariners fan. I feel like he's adopted them as his primary baseball team now. This kid, he was like a solid baseball fan growing up. And now all of a sudden he moves to Seattle and he's going to 4 of the final 5 home games to try to track down Cal Raleigh's 63rd.
I love that.
I don't know where the hell he got this from.
I love that.
But
I want to hang lost to the AL champs banner.
Okay.
So I want Seattle to win. I have a friend who works for the Mariners too, and I'd like for him to get to a World Series for the first time ever. So I am rooting for the Mariners tonight in full disclosure. That'll do it. We'll be back later in the week, Thursday for college, Friday for NFL with picks episodes. It is the Pick a Side podcast.